Hello everyone, welcome. This is Christine with Patter Crafts, and today we are making a card using what is in my stash. I'll be using this stamp set here from My Favorite Things. It's called New Best Friends, and this paper pad from Die Cuts with a View. It's called Playful Pets. There's 24 sheets of 6x6 double-sided pattern paper, and I thought that this would go perfect with the stamp set. I'm just showing you what's included. I did purchase this from Michael's. I'm not sure if it is still available, but if it is, if I can find it online, I'll link it below. So I'm going to stamp out all 4 of the images that come in the stamp set. I knew I wanted to use the stamp set, and I know I want to use the pattern paper, but at this point I still don't really have an idea of what I'm doing for this card. So I'm using the My Favorite Things Extreme Black Ink to stamp up these images. I am going to color one of the images on camera, and then I will color the other 3 off camera. I do try to show you the colors. So one of my, I guess you could say New Year's resolutions or goals for this coming year is to use more products of what I already have. This is one of those stamp sets where I have stamped it out, but this is the first time like coloring it and actually making a card using it. So I want to start going through and using the pattern paper and the stamps I already have. We all have lots. So my kind of goal is to make the cards and then take that stamp set and make a new basket. I keep all my stamps in like little baskets, so I thought if I got an extra one, then as I use them I can put them in there, and if there's anything in the basket for say 2018 still in there, it's probably time to destash that item. So we'll see how that goes. That's my thought process for this year. Do you guys make any kinds of resolutions? I don't generally. This one I think is doable. That's why I call it more of a goal than a resolution. But am I the only one that does that? That's my crafty resolution / goal. So finishing up the coloring on this sweet little girl and her puppy. And I decided to put this little clip in here of me using my scan and cut to cut the images in case anyone was curious about that. It is kind of expensive up front, but if you don't like to fussy cut and you're always buying the dies, it's a great investment. My scan and cut though does sometimes have some issues reading or registering or certain images, especially if there's like a lot of lines. So I'm not going to probably stop buying image dies altogether, but it does allow me to wait till the stamp set's kind of retired, and then those things go, you know, really well discounted, and then I'll probably buy the dies, but for now, this is what I'm doing. So for this card, it is going to be a 5x5 square card. I took a piece of 110-pound Recollections white cardstock. I cut that to 5x10, scored at 5 to make this square card. This is like a new style that like I'm really into the square cards. So you might see a lot more of that from me this year. So I'm using a lot of different shaped dies and edge dies for this card. The one you just saw there is the mini scalloped, or the stitched, let me start again. Mini stitched scallop oval dies. Then I'm using this one here that you see on camera is from Gina Marie Designs. This particular set is ovals, and then it has the outside that cuts just the oval, and then there's like this other little piece that goes in the middle to cut this like wonky stitching. When I first picked it up, I was a little disappointed there was 2 parts to that. And it wasn't so bad because if I didn't want the stitching, I had just the ovals. And for the price of these dies, I want to say they were less than $10. You know, it's kind of a 2-for-1. So the scalloped die that I used to cut the pink paper is also from My Favorite Things. It's the stitched scallop edges. This pack has 3 different sizes of the scalloped edges. It's like my new favorite, so you'll probably see that a lot. Going to go ahead and start putting this card together. I'm also bringing in some ribbon because I have a lot of it and I need to start using it. Just using some Scotch tape to hold that down. If it were thicker, like the ribbon was thicker, I would have just adhered that ribbon on the front as well, but it's too thin for my tape runner, and the way I did it works just fine. So now I'm going to pop up my little girl here and her kitty cat on some foam tape. I purchased this from Amazon, and I do buy the 3/4 inch roll. I do have to trim it down a lot, but it is less expensive than, say, the 1/2 inch. So I feel like you're getting just a little bit more because it's a little bit thicker. Using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to bring in the small paw from the stamp set and also stamp that. And then I'm going to grab the tiniest little heart stamp and stamp 3 of those out with this red ink from My Favorite Things. Gonna pop that up on some foam tape that I will cut a piece and then fold it in half so that it's popped up twice so it goes over, so it's just a little bit higher than that little girl. So on the inside, I'm going to put in the scrap that was left over from the paw paper. And I was thinking about putting another image in the card, but in the end, I decided to save those to make another card instead of putting them on the inside of this card. To finish up, I'm using a white gel pen to add some white dots on her dress. And that will finish up this card. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more and you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. But until next time, bye.